On part 5 of our series on the murder of Teresa Halbach and the case against Steven Avery, we finally get to the trial. First up, it's the prosecution, and their focus on 3 things: a car, a key, and a bullet. Next, the defense picks holes in the prosecution's case. And from there, they'll start their focus on rebuttals to 4 pieces of evidence: a key, a bullet, blood, and bones. And then finally, the jurors make a decision. I'm Mike.
I'm Ian.
And I'm Dave. Did they actually make a murder or just a mockery of the justice system? Stick around. It's probably a little bit of both. This is Necronomipod.
I sent you guys the video of Joey Diaz just in his feels.
Yeah.
Ian, have you been to that point ever?
No, I don't even know what that would feel like. We're talking like 200 milligram edibles, probably, right?
He told that story. I forget what the exact, but it was a
Rogan.
large number.
It was like 200 milligram.
He was, yeah, 2
Gummies,
100 milligram gummies he was just popping.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then I had posted on my Instagram a video of him, and I was like, this is Ian when he doesn't have to narrate an episode, and it's Dave and I, or I narrating. And Joey is just out of his mind. How much did he have to take?
For a guy with that tolerance?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
It's a fucking expensive habit at that point once you're...
He didn't know
Happened
where
about
he
that much.
was.
You didn't know what room he was in. No.
Yeah.
Just takes his headphones. He's in the middle of a podcast. Just takes his headphones off, lays back, just kind of looking around.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been that high. Like, definitely.
Well, to be fair, I've taken
definitely.
over reading for you before on something.
Yeah.
You couldn't
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah, it's true.
He still hasn't been that bad, though. He hasn't been that bad.
no. like
I've never
that.
taken
In all
my
fairness to you.
headphones off and like, all right,
He
I'm
just
done.
stops, unplugs, disassociates.
So you guys just take it from here. I'm in cruise control.
He looked like he was fine, like he was having a good time, like he wasn't panicky. Or
Oh no,
anything.
he was
just-
fine.
He's enjoying himself, but
He was ready to go to bed. That
it's
man
not
just
good
needed
for a
a,
podcast.
that man needed a bag of Doritos, a pillow, and a blanket.
Yeah, I'll get super high where I can't read anymore, like where it gets a little weird trying to read. I'm like, but I've only got panicky high once, like where I got too high and I kind of freaked out a little
Well, that
bit.
sounds awful.
On the show or in general?
No, just in
Oh,
general.
well, that's not bad.
Yeah, no. That was when my dog Max was alive, my big, like over 100-pound golden retriever. I got in bed and just cuddled with him till I was done. I'm like,
There you go. That'll solve it.
I'm just gonna chill.
Tethered yourself back to the real world. Stroke your dog.
Yeah. I feel like 200 milligram edibles would that'd be like a life-changing experience,
Dude,
That's like going 0 to you have to build up.
Well, I think they do.
Long
I mean,
time, yeah.
the way on that Rogan show when Diaz was popping those, like, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He wasn't just being like, oh, I'm going to be funny guy.
Yeah.
I just want to know how much he took to get to that level in the video. We'll have to post that video, I guess, at this point. We've been fucking talking about it so much. I'm sure you could just Google it.
Well,
No.
Joey Diaz sees heaven. Search that. It'll come up.
yeah, because I mean, I smoke a lot of fucking weed.
That is true.
And I wouldn't be able to tolerate something like that.
No, that's too much. For the layman.
Yeah.
Joey Diaz is also like, what, 350 pounds?
True.
Yeah, that's
I know he
true.
lost
That-
a lot of weight. He's a big dude.
Yeah, that matters too.
Yeah.
With edibles. I don't like edibles though.
See,
You can't control it. That's the thing is like if you sat there and vaped, like I don't even know what would be the equivalent, but you could get that high pretty fast if you just sat there and hit it over and over and over again.
the equivalent to just popping an edible.
Right. But like
Is it the same kind of high?
not in my experience, no. And it's like I can't control it. Like if I hit this too many times, I'm like, oh man, I'll dial
Like
it back.
sipping a drink. Like you just be like, oh, I'm going to slow down on the sips.
Like imagine taking a gummy of 24 beers and you take it, you're like, I don't know how this is going to hit.
So a gummy's like a shot. A gummy is a shot of liquor, and then a vape is a sip of beer.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Just
in my simpleton mind, that's how I'm looking at it.
But like your shot is like your whole night of drinking.
Ooh,
yeah, but it could range from 1 shot to 50 shots.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want that.
Right, exactly.
Can I just sip my Diet Miller and just enjoy the night?
It'd be like Don Vito in that old CKY video when they had him doing 50 peach schnapps shots.
And then
projectile vomiting.
Then you literally see 50 shots come out of him in the parking lot. And it's just a stream.
Vile.
I have never seen throw up like that in my life than on that video. He did so many
That was horrible.
shots. Ugh. All right, well, we got some serious stuff to get to. We're getting to the meat and potatoes now of this story.
Yep. We're finally here.
We pissed some people off last week.
Did we?
You pissed some people off.
About what? What I don't remember.
Which part was that?
People just, not sure if you had an agenda or if, they didn't listen to us and they were going to take the journey and let it all play out.
Yeah.
His agenda is truth, justice, and the American way, just like fucking Superman. That's his agenda.
That's it.
Is that what Superman said?
Isn't that it? Truth, justice,
I
and
don't
the
know.
American way?
I don't know. Sounds
Did
right.
Superman say American way? Was he all-American?
I'm thinking of something else. All right.
I like it better this way. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, Superman. Truth, justice, and the American way.
Okay.
Make me question myself.
Sorry, man. I don't watch comic books. They were hard on, which one to call it? The cousin.
Yeah. Or his nephew.
Nephew, sorry.
Brendan.
Brendan.
Brandon.
They were hard on Brendan. And we exposed all of that. And I think people thought we were leaning one way or another. You were simply telling the story of what happened.
I think it's maybe people that really know this story were kind of like going along with it and like, 5, we're running out of time here. We said we were going to wrap it up in 5 and there's a lot more to tell. So I could see, I guess, where people would be like, well, there's a lot left to tell. So
Wait, what are you telling me right
this
now?
is our first 6 part.
What? I need Pee Wee Herman. Are you trying to drive me crazy?
Are you sure it's not going to be 7?
No, it's not going to be this. Definitely not 7.
Can't just go around lying about people.
You can't just make up lies about people.
There it is. Thanks, Pee Wee.
I love how he pops his lips. It just makes it so much fucking funnier.
Are you trying to drive me crazy?
So there will be a part 6,
Yes.
which will be like theories.
Right. Because we said...
All right, thanks, Goofy. Get the fuck out of here.
Goofy was happy. He loves part 6.
Jackass. It's not even really Goofy, Dave. It's your fucking bootleg kitty porn guy you downloaded.
At the end of last week, we were kind of jumping ahead a little bit, debating on some stuff, and we were getting into the conversation. We're like, somebody had to have killed Teresa Halbach.
Yeah.
Like, if Steven Avery didn't do it, somebody fucking did. So
Well, I think that, and you're right, that gets lost in all of this.
It really does.
And like the whole making of a murderer is, there is a young girl who was murdered. And her family has to sit through all of this. The media, the documentaries, the debates, and blah, blah, blah. Or, this fucked up Avery family, this corrupt police administration. There's still victims here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know. Whichever way you fall on the thing, that's always going to be there.
yeah,
My lingering perspective from last week is still going to be just because that kid was railroaded in that interview in a way he absolutely should not have been, doesn't mean he wasn't involved at all.
yeah.
That's two different things.
Yeah, I'm still on that. I'm not sure that my mind will change on that or could change on that. I don't think.
Yeah. I'm not saying he was, but I'm saying one doesn't disprove the other. Those two things can exist in the same world.
So when we wrap up part 6, a big chunk of that episode will be other theories of who, if it wasn't Steven, who could have done this.
Someone did it.
Yeah.
Like you just said.
So we'll get into that. So yeah.
Stop fucking yelling at us and enjoy the goddamn ride. Christ.
So in January of 2007, the court dropped the kidnapping and sexual assault counts against Steven, leaving 3 charges: first-degree intentional homicide, mutilation of a corpse, and felon in possession of a firearm. Trial was set for March with DA Ken Kratz for the state and Judge Patrick Willis on the bench. Because the case was all over the news and because Steven still technically had a civil suit pending over the 1985 conviction, the court split the venue. The trial would run in Calumet County, but the jury would come from Manitowoc. Over 4 days, February 6th through the 9th, 12 jurors and 4 alternates were seated. Starting February 12th, they rode a 30-mile bus ride from Manitowoc to the Chilton Courthouse each morning, heard testimony, then went home at night. Manitowoc counties never served as bailiffs or mixed with the panel.
I bet that's fun. You're already irritated getting on a 30-mile bus ride every morning. No.
That's awful.
And there's
But they
nothing
were
you can
allowed
do
to go
about jury
home
duty.
at night, which is different. Because
Yeah.
I remember thinking, why didn't they just put them in a fucking hotel near the courthouse? They were allowed to go home at night, which seems different than most.
They don't know. I don't think people get sequestered as often as you think they
For
do.
high-profile cases, though?
I don't know.
I don't know. I always thought they did.
During deliberations, maybe, but not for the entirety of the trial. I think that's probably pretty rare. You probably can't afford it anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to pay for people. You can't just lock somebody down like that.
Well, no, you
Red Roof Inn, baby.
Look, they can't afford me. Like, I'm going to need a bottle of Crown Royal and a case of Miller Lite every day. They're like, you mean a week? I'm like, no, every day. You want me to do this or not? I'm going to blow your fucking shit up. I'll go talk to the media right now. You can give me a case of Crown Royal and a case of Miller Lite.
That wouldn't get you thrown off a jury at all.
Well, it's already when I'm on the jury, is what I'm saying. This is when we're already on.
No.
Well, at that point.
Alternate juror number 1, please approach the bench.
And I'm going to need a Papa John's pizza every night at 10 o'clock. On the dot, 10 o'clock.
Remember there was that juror in the Casey Anthony case that got selected, and then he went right outside and started talking to the media, and they brought him in contempt, and the judge was like, did you do that so you wouldn't have to be a juror? And he's like, yes.
Yeah.
Good for him, though. Yeah. Like, I don't want this shitty. I do think it would be fun, like, or cool to be on a jury. But if it was a case I didn't want to be on, no, I'm going to say whatever the fuck I can to get out of it. Sorry.
What was the Curb Your Enthusiasm? Larry got called for jury duty, and he told the judge he doesn't like black people to get off the jury.
Yeah.
That's one way to do it. But if you were a juror in Casey Anthony, you'd just be looking at her, winking the whole time, right? Trying to catch her eye.
Well, I would do whatever it took to fuck her. Is that what you're asking? Okay.
I was hinting at that, but sure.
Yeah.
Whatever it took.
Of course.
You're saying you would trade verdicts for sexual favors?
I did not say that. I did not say that. I'd say I would do whatever it took to be inside of her at some point.
Fair enough.
Or at least smell Jose Baez's dick, right? Wasn't that where that stemmed from?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Oh, people are going to get mad about that one. She's guilty. We know she's guilty.
Guilty of having a fat ass.
Also.
So right now we can bring up a piece of evidence that we've been holding on to for the past couple weeks. And this one's in Steven's favor, kind of. In 1996, a judge ordered fresh reference blood from Steven in case future DNA work became possible. So this is while he was sitting in jail for the rape that he never committed. A phlebotomist filled a lavender top tube. It was whole blood with EDTA preservative, sealed it with red evidence tape, and logged it in the clerk of court's vault. It stayed there until November 2005 when Calumet investigators retrieved it for comparison testing. The way this was done also placed Manitowoc deputies, Lank and Colborne, in the chain of custody sheet.
That doesn't seem great.
No. These are the two guys. Colborne took the phone call in 1995 about Steven being in jail. There was a guy admitting to the rape. Colborne passed it to Lank, did nothing with it.
These guys shouldn't be anywhere near this case.
No.
Or the lab lady, Sherry Colhane, is that her name that we talked about last week?
Vanderwitz. I think it was Vanderwitz. Oh,
Close
Colhane.
enough.
Okay. Her.
When defense lawyers inspected the box a month later, they found the tape sliced and the rubber stopper punctured. They said someone could have drawn the blood and planted it in Teresa's RAV4. The state said that every lavender tube is pierced once during draw, and the tape was probably cut during a file audit. From what I saw, the lavender tube being punctured, like that is pretty common. That seems to check out. The red tape thing could go either way, I guess. But that the documentary makes a big deal out of that.
Like it's their main point.
Yeah.
In pushing the narrative that he was framed.
Right. Opening statements started on February 12th. And when the state took over, Kratz spent 3.5 weeks calling more than 50 witnesses to build a timeline around the physical exhibits. Teresa's RAV4 that was found on November 5th on the Avery lot. The hood was partially hidden by brush. There were 6 blood spots inside that matched Steven's DNA. Teresa's blood was on the front passenger seat. The spare key that was found several days later in Steven's bedroom on that third search. The state analyst, Sherry Colhane, testified only Steven's skin cell DNA was present, none from Teresa. The bullet fragment, that was the .22 round pulled from the crack in the garage floor. A firearms examiner said it carried Teresa's DNA and rifling marks consistent with Steven's Marlin Model 60 rifle that was taken earlier from above his bed. Kratz told jurors that those 3 pieces, the car, key, and bullet, anchored every other fact that the state would present. Dr. Leslie Eisenberg, the state's forensic anthropologist, walked the jury through the bone fragments recovered from the burn pit behind Steven's trailer. The remains, mixed with steel tire belts, showed exposure to extreme heat. Eisenberg identified the bones as adult female and pointed to 2 skull fragments, one with a through-and-through perforation and the other with a grazing strike, both consistent with gunshot injury. She couldn't say whether or not the shots came before or after death, but just that Teresa was shot. The location of all of this mattered a lot too. About half a skeleton's worth of Teresa's bones lay in Steven's fire pit, 8 feet from his back door, while another 200 plus fragments turned up in a scorched burn barrel behind his sister Barb's trailer, roughly 75 to 80 feet east of the pit, across a narrow driveway and a row of junk cars. And that's something we'll talk about on part 6 as well, as like the shit that Making a Murderer left out, because they don't talk about that second burn spot. The state added destruction of property evidence. Investigators pulled broken pieces of Teresa's phone and camera from the burn barrel, found her license plates stashed in a junk car, and noted the RAV's hood unlatched with battery cables messed with. A crime lab analyst swabbed the hood latch and reported Steven's skin cell DNA. That's the sweat that we talked about.
Oh, yeah, the sweat.
Yeah.
Might have been.
Like, I definitely think that he opened that hood up and was fucking with the battery 100%. I just don't know about pulling his skin cells off that latch. That's, if I'm a juror, that's far-fetched for me to believe.
That's a bridge too far, huh? All right.
I think so. But what do I know? I don't know, man.
What do any of us know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a scientist.
We're talking through this.
There is an issue here. This is another issue for me if I am a juror. Steven's blood and DNA was found inside the RAV4, yet no usable fingerprints, his or anyone else's, were found. The prosecution said that the car had been wiped down. The defense would later counter that wiping should have removed the blood as well. You know, this does add a point to their planting theory. I think.
Did they just miss the blood when they were wiping it down? Is it where he's leaning in the car and she scratches him or something, so there's a couple droplets of blood, and I don't know. It's not that implausible to me. Drags her out of the car, and when they
And doesn't touch anything on the inside.
He just grabs her and she scratches a defensive claw. Little blood drips off him. Takes her out of the car, kills her. They wipe it down later, but blood soaked in wherever they missed it.
I don't disagree, but then when we get to the evidence of the key, it adds up to more questions with the DNA on that.
The key's the shady part of all this. I agree. But just
I think when you add it all up, though, individually, sure, but I think that's very plausible for the car. That could be.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
So you're saying he would have wiped all the fingerprints off after moving it, or that he never got in it?
He never got in it. He dragged her out of it, but in the process, she scraped him or scratched him or defensively clawed him in some way. And a couple drops of blood got in there. And when he cleaned it up, he missed it. It doesn't seem that crazy to me that there's nothing else in there besides that. I don't know. It's winter. She probably has gloves on. You might not be finding fingerprints all over the place. I don't know.
Winter. It's October, pal. Come on.
It's November, right? Oh, Christmas or Halloween. You're right. Yeah. But, in Wisconsin, it's probably cold as shit.
Well, I'm just saying, let's give fall its fair due. It's got 2 more months, pal. Two more months.
Not in the Midwest, man. Not in the Midwest.
Temperature-wise, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, so
I didn't think about gloves.
Yeah.
So last week we also talked about the DA, Ken Kratz, said that he was going to present evidence that Stephen lured Teresa to the salvage lot that day. So get into what he meant by that. Stephen set up the Halloween appointment the same way he'd booked half a dozen shoots before. He called Teresa and asked her to take pictures of a vehicle at the yard. Phone records later shown to the jury captured 3 calls from Stephen's cell on October 31st, 2005. The first 2, 8:12 a.m. and 8:26 a.m., were dialed with star 67, blocking the caller ID, and rolled to voicemail after a few seconds. Just after 2 p.m., 5 minutes after Stephen listened to a saved voicemail from Teresa confirming the job, he called again without star 67. Verizon logs showed that third call lasted 13 seconds, long enough to say something like he'd be around or whatever.
You always want to block your number when you're making a business call. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. From Teresa's side, everything looked routine. 4 days earlier, on October 27th, she left Stephen a voicemail, quote, "Hey, Steve, Monday about 2 o'clock works." Auto Trader scheduler Dawn Pliska printed the Halloween route that same afternoon. Schmidt's Farm at 11:30, Zipper at 12:45, Avery Salvage at 2 o'clock, and emailed it to her. Teresa folded that and left it on the passenger seat of her car. Company logs showed Stephen as a repeat customer in 2005. He would sometimes book under his sister Barb's name, and coworker Angela Schuster testified Teresa never mentioned feeling uneasy about those trips.
I had read before that the judge did not allow testimony from that Dawn in the trial where Teresa had told her on a previous visit Stephen had come to the door in a towel and made her uneasy. She was uneasy about going there. I read that. That was disallowed as trial evidence, though.
Do we know why? Or just
no, I didn't see exactly the judge's ruling, but
Can't believe everything you read on Wikipedia, Dave.
well, it's not Wikipedia, sir. But actually, most of the time, Wikipedia is pretty accurate.
Wikipedia is usually my go-to for an initial source, and it's actually pretty damn good.
It is most of the time. But I don't know if you're coming to the door in a towel when the young girl from Auto Trader's coming. You're a fucking creep.
Yeah,
You guy's a creep. Period.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to do, but that's not part of the court and the trial, right? So we're not to take that in consideration.
I'm taking it into consideration. It's not allowed in trial, but it's allowed for me to hear about it.
Yeah, I like bouncing back and forth, like thinking if I'm a juror, thinking reality. If I'm thinking reality on this, then yeah, like it's fucking weird. You should never answer your door in a towel, no matter who, if it's a man or
fucking
woman.
Weird.
Yeah. get some fucking clothes on.
And then, he's specifically requesting her. I don't know. It's creepy. What do you give a fuck who comes to take pictures of your shit car, Oh, send that Teresa that came to the door in a fucking towel.
Yeah.
That I'm blocking, using star 67 to call.
Well,
it's weird.
To go back to that, he's pretty well known at this point because of his 18-year thing. Is it that uncommon to call people and block your number so that it doesn't get out publicly?
It wasn't like it's the first time she's coming and it's the initial time he's calling her to come over and he doesn't want her to know who it is. She's been here before. She knows his name. She knows who he is.
But then why also does that not make a difference? And so what is it? I guess just for that point, does it make a difference then? If all he's doing is calling to confirm the same appointment, does it matter if he's calling from a blocked number or not?
Yeah,
she knows where she's going.
It's a weird step to take to block your call on that day when there's going to be a record of her going to your house.
But how many times did he block his number in general leading up to this?
That was it, as far as I'm aware.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Let me.
And if she's already coming, it is a weird step. I don't disagree. But she's already coming to your house. What does he have to gain from calling from a blocked number?
I don't know.
I'm just asking questions.
I think I am
not anyone's defense.
I'm not saying it's well thought out. I think it's just creepy behavior. I think the guy has a subpar IQ. I don't think he's very bright. I think he has impulse control issues and he does stuff like this I don't know what his thought process is.
I don't disagree with any of that. I think from the beginning we've established he's a pretty creepy dude. This whole family's fucking creepy in a lot of ways.
I just think it's weird behavior. It's not necessarily.
But that does not make a murderer.
Well, it doesn't, but at some point, there's a lot of creepy behavior stacked on more creepy behavior here. And I don't know if we talked about this last week or it's later, but he also called using his sister Barb's number, right? Or used her name when he called to make the appointments kind of thing. Oh, is it? We talk about this later.
He used a business partner and stuff for different calls. Yeah. That's later in this when they get into the trial part.
Yeah, I mean, there's no evidence that he had like a habit of doing this. He only did it on that day, the star 67.
It's abnormal behavior in a business setting.
Yeah, he called her 3 times, twice with the star 67, once without.
Could be habit. Could be. He's got to protect himself. He was in prison for 18 years. You don't think he's getting a ton of calls about media interviews? Got to protect himself. You can't let your number get out there.
Well, the number comes up. It's the name, right? Or no, the number is
I think
blocked.
It's all blocked.
Everything's blocked.
I think it's all blocked.
That's right. Unknown number.
Well, that would defeat the whole purpose if they could just call you right back and be like, hey, fuck boy, you just called me.
I like answering those ones, though. The no caller ID, like Donna. Yeah, I answer those every time.
Do you?
Yeah, just to see what type of scam person's on.
I like that Apple updated it though. Apple updated so that because you used to not be able to block those unknown numbers. Now you can block them.
Yeah, it's nice.
Steve Jobs is like, oh fuck you! I'll show you a big dick. I'm gonna block your number.
Steve Jobs.
Thank you, Mr. Jobs.
So this is what Ken Kratz called a lure in the opening statements. He told jurors that Stephen, quote, used the cloak of star 67 so the victim wouldn't know who was calling. The work order listed the seller as B. Jonda, which Kratz said made Stephen look like a new client. That's what you said, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Stephen's defense lawyers called the star 67 habit nothing unusual, that Stephen often blocked his number so it wouldn't show up in the magazine, and they said that Teresa had printed out the route sheet anyway. Repeat business, they said, suggested that she felt safe returning. Still, you block, then unblock, followed by her phone just going immediately silent. It's a big piece of the state's their timeline.
It is, but he already had an appointment on the books. Again, I'm not trying to defend him. I'm talking through this.
Yeah.
He already had an appointment on the books. We talked about it last week. She had a printed out schedule for this day.
Yeah. I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm saying it's weird.
It's weird. I don't know how this has anything to do with potential murder. We already knew she was going to his house.
Is she on the fence though? He came to the towel. He came with a towel. Maybe she said
we
something.
don't know that. I mean, I didn't know that till you said it.
Right.
Reading the notes, like she was always fine going to the house. That's a red flag if there's something.
And that there was evidence from that Dawn that worked there that she was uneasy about going there, that they wouldn't allow a trial.
So maybe she had said something to him about like, hey, dude, I'm not going to come back again if you're going to show up in a towel. He requests her. The sheet says his sisters. The sheet says B. John. So she's like, okay, it's the Avery property, but it's his sister is on the work order. He calls twice, star 67.
She doesn't answer. She's like, all right, she's not answering. Maybe then he just forgot the third time to hit star 67.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I'm so confused now. I thought he set this appointment with her. But now you're saying it was he put it under his sister's name the entire time.
He did set it, but he used his sister's.
But she knew where she was going. It's the same compound.
Right.
Okay.
But they all did business, right?
Yes.
So maybe it was for someone else selling a car. And the whole thing about he didn't want that in the magazine, like just because you call someone, you write your own ad in Auto Trader, that doesn't mean your fucking phone number is going to make it in the ad. That's nonsense.
Like you're forced to, like no matter what, you have to have your number in there.
Is that what this was for, to go in the magazine?
Well, that's what the defense attorney said. He didn't want it to make it into the ad in the magazine or something. That's nonsensical. Come on. But I guess my main point here is that he does weird stuff, and I'm not saying that it necessarily says he killed her, or it's that it's some master plan that it's going to be like, oh well, that doesn't make sense to try to evade being caught in a murder. I don't think it makes sense, but I think this guy's a fucking moron, and he just does weird stuff, and in his head somehow he's like, oh, this will shield me from whatever. It doesn't make sense necessarily, but it's weird.
So the state's star witness was Bobby Dassey. That's Steven's 19-year-old nephew.
Is that Brennan's brother?
Yes.
Yeah.
He told jurors he saw Teresa drive into the salvage yard around 2:30 p.m. on Halloween, camera bag in hand, and watched her walk towards Steven's trailer. Bobby then left to hunt and never saw her leave, putting Teresa alone on the property and heading for Steven's front door. This is part of the thing that I think people got a little worked up about. I know there's a lot of people that think Bobby Dassey is responsible for this, so that's all that part 6 of. We're just focusing on the trial. Bobby added a second story the state treated as an incriminating slip. On Thursday, November 3rd, 2 days after Teresa was reported missing, Bobby, his brother Blaine, and a friend walked past Steven's burn barrel. Steven was tending the fire and looked up and joked, quote, "You guys want to help me get rid of a body?" Bobby shrugged it off, thinking nothing of it at the time. The prosecution called the remark a, quote, unguarded admission, and the defense called it, dark humor. He was making a joke. Deputies Andrew Colborn and James Lank were then called to describe their part in the November 8th search that produced the spare RAV4 key. Colborn said that he bumped a bookcase in Steven's bedroom and spotted the key on the carpet. Lank testified it was in plain view. Lab tests showed that only Steven's skin cell DNA was on it. There was no trace of Teresa's. It's super fucking shady.
Is it? Or did he wipe the key when they wiped everything else, and then he's a dumbass and he pulled it out of his pocket and threw it in his room somewhere? So that's why his fingerprint, that's why his is on there. I don't know. Like, I think when people...
So he's an idiot, but he's doing some stuff.
Yes.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think this is part of police planted evidence, which is a theory through this whole case. I think.
So you think there's just a little bit of everything going on, maybe?
I'm not trying to jump ahead.
Yeah.
But yes. I think everybody in this story is guilty as fuck except Teresa Halbach, who is just an innocent victim who was murdered.
Steven's defense told jurors that those same two deputies have motive and opportunity to frame Steven. his $36 million lawsuit that was looming over Manitowoc County, and both men had been subpoenaed for depositions a month before Teresa disappeared. They argued that the deputies could have planted the key and later the bullet with Teresa's DNA. Kratz pointed out that Lank and Colburn were never named as defendants in Steven's federal lawsuit. Only Manitowoc County, the former sheriff, and the former district attorney were. Backtrack to, I think we talked about this more on part 2. When the suit was filed in 2004, the county's insurers, Wisconsin County Mutual and excess carrier AIG, issued reservation of rights letters warning that they would deny coverage if any intentional misconduct were proven. After Teresa's remains were found and Steven was charged, the carriers reassessed the risk. In early 2006, months before the criminal trial began, they notified the county they would fund any settlement or judgment. By the time jurors heard the case, the insurers, not individual deputies, were on the financial hook, leaving Lank and Colburn with no personal exposure.
Well, they're pretty exposed now as we're talking about them.
Are they?
To buy a conspiracy, Kratz said the jury would have to believe that 2 deputies with nothing to gain and felony charges to risk secretly got Teresa's spare key, transferred Steven's DNA onto it, dropped it under a Calumet detective's nose, and somehow later produced a bullet with her DNA on it after Steven's rifle was already in evidence. The state told jurors that scenario was far less plausible than the straightforward one that Steven Avery killed Teresa, burned her remains, and left his own DNA trail behind.
Yeah.
FBI chemist Dr. Mark LeBeau took the stand to back up the earlier EDTA results. That was the preservative in the blood.
Yeah.
He told jurors that the Bureau had rushed 3 stains from Teresa's RAV4 through testing. None contained EDTA. If the blood had come from that vial, he said the chemical would show up. It didn't, so in his view, the stains came straight from Steven's finger, not the clerk's vault. And that was the big thing, argument going at this point. There's pictures of it that Steven had a cut on his finger.
Ah, okay.
So there's a debate. Did it come from Steven's finger? Did it come from this vial?
Did it come from a sharp earring that she may have been wearing when he dragged her out of the car?
Maybe.
I would like to point out before you get going, I still don't have any final thoughts on any of this yet.
Yeah.
I'm talking through it all. Just want to point that out. I don't want
what it's
people
all
coming
about.
at me.
I think that's what happens when you talk about this case, really.
You know, for fucking 6.5 months like we've been doing.
Well, I remember like back in the day when this came out, everybody was debating with each other. You know what I mean? Like,
Up in arms.
yeah. There's a lot of people that thought he did it. People that think he didn't. People got in arguments and shit. So.
Yeah. I have my thoughts on whether he did it or not. I'll save those, I guess.
But are you? I think didn't you guys say like years ago you both thought he was guilty?
He's 100% fucking guilty.
Okay.
Yeah.
He absolutely
There's that.
killed that girl.
See you next week.
It's just a very interesting case all around.
There's no chance that he's not guilty.
I'm not saying I disagree. I'm not saying I disagree. There was a lot of tomfoolery also involved, I think, at this point.
There was a lot of tomfoolery because if I'm a juror, a lot of this shit we're going to talk about kind of would make me think a little bit, kind of raise.
Yes, absolutely.
I absolutely think a lot of this tomfoolery and involvement have poisoned the case, and charges should likely have been thrown out.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he fucking did it, absolutely, but I'm not sure he should be convicted of it.
I don't disagree with any of that at this point. I'm
Can-
still very interested though because again, I don't know this story and I'm interested in next week and the other theories we're going to get into that Ian had teased as well. So, like always, we'll save our thoughts for the end of the series, but you get little sprinkles. Clearly, I'm not sure where Dave stands on this one. I don't know where he is.
You know how I feel about law enforcement malfeasance. You can't conduct.
They have you hook, line, and sinker on this one, Dave.
You can't conduct an investigation like this and expect a conviction.
And yet,
Because then innocent people that really didn't kill someone are at risk. This absolutely.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I agree.
I don't think whether he did or not has any bearing on this case because the police conduct is fucking outrageous.
It really is. It's what? This is 2005 we're talking about. 85 was when he was sentenced, right? So how many?
18 years. He was in there 18 years. He got out in 03.
So we're talking about a decade of police, generations of police fucking up in this area.
And those same involved are now investigating this.
Mm-hmm.
That's outrageous.
Mega lawsuit hanging over
Come
them.
on. That alone is enough to throw this case out.
Or does that lawsuit not really matter because AIG already said that they would cover the bill? I don't know. Is the motive gone at that point? Because making a murder doesn't portray that.
Yeah. But if this isn't a conflict of interest, then fuck, what is?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's another county investigating, Dave.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
They have some integrity. All right. We're kind of all on the same page.
See how we end next
We have
week.
some loose ends to tie up, but we're kind of on the same
Quite
page.
a few.
After nearly a month of state witnesses, Dean Strang and Jerry Buting opened the defense case. Strang played a squad room recording from 6:02 p.m. on Thursday, November 3rd, 2005. Sergeant Andrew Colburn is heard reading plate SWH 582. That was Teresa's RAV4 tag to dispatch. The SUV wouldn't be found for another 40 hours. When asked why he ran the plate that night, Colburn first couldn't remember, then suggested an unnamed officer might have handed him a note. He denied seeing the RAV4 in person or entering Avery Salvage before the November 5th warrant. Strang let that kind of uncertainty hang, like if Colburn had seen the plate on the 3rd, police already knew where the vehicle and possibly the body was before the search happened that broke this whole thing open.
See, I don't understand this.
This is the one thing if I was a juror, like...
Well, I was going to go the other way.
Oh, wait, no. Now I get to be the mediator. Well, I want to hear... Dave, go ahead.
This is a missing person. Of course they know her license plate. Why is it weird that the police would be reading her license plate of a missing person? I don't understand the premise of this argument whatsoever. Why is this weird?
The defense is twisting it. It is... I was thinking in my mind at the time, presumably, the defense is painting it as he's standing there looking at the RAV4.
He was calling it in, hey, I have a vehicle here. Here's the license plate.
Right. That's how the defense paints it, that he was standing there looking at it.
Wouldn't every officer in every county be aware of the license plate of a vehicle driven by the missing person?
And yet, but under testimony, he didn't remember any of this. Which makes it questionable, I guess. Because if it was that big of a thing, then he would have been like, yeah, I called it in because it was memorable or whatever. He didn't remember it under testimony.
But he didn't remember why he was reading it.
He didn't remember why he was reading it.
He didn't give any solid answers for this at all.
Which does that speak to the point of, hey, we got to call a missing vehicle, license plate, blah, 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 which maybe they do all the time. And they most of the time they show up. And so for him, it was just a perfunctory,
right.
Let's call this in.
That's how I would read it.
But what he's, the defense is portraying it as he was there and called this in, and it seems like he has no recollection of what it was.
Steven has really good defense attorneys too. We should point that out because they're good at getting you to feel a certain way about some of this stuff.
I think this is a nothing burger.
See, this is why you don't want me on a jury, because I get all emotional. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, why didn't he remember? Fuck you, cop. Why didn't you remember calling this in?
A cop reading the license plate of a missing person 3 days after she was reported missing to dispatch. I don't think that seems like something that they absolutely should be doing. Maybe dispatch asked what that missing plate was again or something. He was just clarifying. Who knows? And how the fuck would he remember? He probably said that plate 50 times over the 4 or 5 day period. No?
I don't know. Or was he looking at a car and read the plate? The fact that he didn't remember, though, I mean, you could probably say if you saw a car or not, right? Could he not remember? Oh, I was just reading off the name.
He sounds like Steven's defense attorney because that's pretty much what they asked him. Like
what I'm saying is if he was actually reading it off of a car on the side of the road, you could say, oh, I was reading off a car on the side of the road. Or you could say, no, I was repeating back the name of something.
But maybe he legitimately didn't remember. Maybe dispatch fielded a call about a missing person and he was reading off the APB, giving dispatch the plate number. Maybe he did that 10 times and he doesn't remember that instance. I don't know. I find myself in a weird situation of defending law enforcement so much in this case, but I don't find this strange at all.
All I'm saying is if he was reading that off of an actual car and a license plate,
understand what you're
he would have been
saying.
able to say that. And he didn't say that. I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm just saying he said he couldn't remember. Maybe that means he wasn't looking at a car. We have no clarity.
Well, if he was looking at a car, that means that he was facilitating a cover-up and placing that car in the yard.
Well,
right?
yeah, I think
That's
half
what they're
this fucking
hinting
police
at.
department was facilitating a cover-up. 100%, or at least a cover-up of evidence. They absolutely were doing that.
I don't buy that for a second. Absolutely not.
Police are so innocent here.
I don't think there's
all of a sudden police are innocent.
Oh man.
So the state moved on to their next point. The state's story required a stabbing, sexual assault, and shooting. First in Steven's trailer, then in his garage. Yet techs found no blood spatter, no tissue, no cast off, and not a single Teresa matched fiber. Luminol lit up nothing. Presumptive swabs ran negative. Floor cracks and wall gaps were all cleaned. The only thing that was found was the one mangled .22 bullet carrying Teresa's DNA, and it was not great DNA. But we're basing all this blood and shit is coming from Brendan's interrogation, which that's all flawed. I don't think her throat was slit, and there should have been blood everywhere based on some of the stuff he was saying.
Yeah.
We already know he was saying shit that didn't make sense. He was talking about cutting her hair and stuff.
I think a lot of that's questionable.
Yeah.
I also read that his mom told police during this investigation that she remembered Brendan helping Steven clean out his garage, cleaning the garage sometime around this time, and his pants had a bunch of bleach all over them.
Yes, I believe those were the bleach jeans that they went and the police grabbed when they weren't supposed to grab them.
After she told them that,
This is just so muddy because everybody fucked this up.
That's right. That's right.
Both you guys said that earlier. Teresa's the only person in this story that didn't fuck everything up.
Yep.
Janine Arvizu, an analytical chemist and quality control auditor, was the first defense witness. She challenged the FBI's EDTA work, and she told jurors that the result showing not detective doesn't prove the preservative isn't present, especially when the Bureau's method had only been used once before. That was in the O.J. Simpson case.
Meaning they could have taken blood from the tube and put it in the car.
Right. But so this test was only used once before.
Okay.
So it's
That's questionable.
Yeah.
It's not a huge thing, but it's just a little hole to poke.
It brings up questions.
That's all you need, right? Is just a little bit of questionable doubt.
That's their whole purpose of their job. Yeah.
I think you're going to poke holes in everything. Yeah.
All right. Her fucking burned body is still on the property. How did that happen?
The next witness for the defense was Dr. Scott Fairgrieve, a forensic anthropology professor from Canada. He didn't dispute that Teresa's bones were in Steven's burn pit. He disputed the certainty that they were burned there. The heat damage, bone condition, and scattering pattern, he testified, left room for the remains to have been cremated elsewhere and moved later. The defense tried to widen the timeline with potential eyewitnesses. There was a school bus driver named Lisa Buckner who said she passed the yard between 3:30 and 3:45 p.m. on Halloween and saw a woman who looked like Teresa taking pictures of a van. If that was accurate, Teresa was alive and well after the state said Steven killed her. Under cross-examination, prosecutor Norm Gahn pressed her on earlier visits on her certainty about the date. And she finally conceded that she couldn't swear to the exact day.
Oops.
That's eyewitness account, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and
Least credible.
Teresa had been there multiple times, right? She had done business with,
Right.
so that's questionable.
That's an easy one to poke a hole in.
Yep.
Deborah Kakach, the elected Manitowoc County coroner, told the jury that on November 8th, after investigators radioed that they had located human bone, she tried to drive onto Avery Road with her official gear, but was stopped at the outer checkpoint. A deputy told her that Calumet County had, quote, full control of the scene and that no one from Manitowoc was to enter. She said that she identified herself twice, cited the Wisconsin statute that gives a coroner authority over any death scene in the county, and even offered to remain outside the active grid until called. The deputy still refused to lift the barricade and after making a phone call, told her to go home. In her 17 years on the job, Deborah testified it was the first time that she'd ever been barred from a scene with human remains, a circumstance that the defense said was deliberate, keeping an independent official from documenting what was going on.
That's some tomfoolery.
It's odd.
Let her go check it out at least.
Depending on what the agreement was with the counties, though, with them taking the lead, maybe that's what they were told to do. I don't know. Maybe someone up above told them, don't let anyone from Manitowoc County in there because of the prior association, and we don't want to, I don't know, poison this investigation, something.
The problem with that, though, then you have Link and Colburn wandering around everywhere.
True. That's at the same time.
Yeah.
So that makes no sense then. Never mind. Never mind.
The last witness was a neighbor named Ronald Johnson.
Ron John, I call them. We used to drink beer together and go fishing, trout fishing.
Years earlier, he helped Steven sight a .22 and had once fired a round into the ground near the garage. The defense floated that bullet as a possible match for the fragment to state to Steven's rifle. On cross, the firearms examiner repeated that the fragment's rifle pattern matched Steven's Marlin Model 60 exactly, undercutting the idea that it was just an old stray round.
Round in the ground. Call that ground round. So we used to throw peanuts on the floor and my friend peed on the window.
So Steven's defense pressed the chain of custody gap on the RAV4. Officers admitted that on November 5th, Manitowoc deputies were alone with the SUV for several hours before Calumet took control. Time the defense said was long enough to unlock the vehicle and drip Steven's blood from that 1996 vial. Kratz said that the car stayed locked and would have shown signs of tampering, but the fact, that's a really fucking weak thing, explanation for that. The fact remained Manitowoc had exclusive access to the RAV4 long before anyone else did. Steven's defense also called the key, they called it the magic key. Link testified that he and Colburn had been inside Steven's bedroom twice before and found nothing. On their third pass, just the two of them, the spare key to Teresa's RAV4 showed up on the carpet beside a bookcase in plain view, carrying only Steven's skin cell DNA. Strang told jurors that made sense only if someone had first wiped the key clean and then transferred Steven's DNA while planting it.
Or if Steven had wiped it clean, then picked it up because he's a fucking imbecile. Get out of here.
So we kind of went off the rails earlier. We had to cut some of it because we were getting ahead of ourselves. But during that, we talked about Steven. We talked about this key and what his room looked like, and we looked at pictures of it. It's fucking shady looking, how it's just, it kind of has a magic key vibe, how it's just sitting there.
I do not believe the key theory that Dave believes. I think in the end, we agree on the same thing. I think this was a police planted piece of evidence.
I'm not saying that's not possible. I'm saying it's not a foregone conclusion that the police planted it just because they didn't find it on the first 2 go-rounds. I'm saying this Steven is a dimwit, and he may have dropped it out of his fucking pants pocket, after the first 2 searches when he was found it somewhere else. Like, oh, I better move this and get rid of it, since
Possibly.
her burned fucking body's in my backyard. And
But I don't know if he's a dimwit. Is he even thinking about that? If he's not thinking about moving a body or a car that we'll get to later, but I think he also planted or he put there. Is he thinking about a key?
maybe it was in
Or
his
is it
jacket
just-
and it fell out right before maybe the cops showed up with a
landed
search warrant.
right so perfectly right there in that little spot that the picture shows. It just landed so perfectly with no other DNA. If it was an accidental fall, then he's not wiping it clean.
The no other DNA says to me that he wiped it the first time and then picked it up again. That's even more damning than if it had both their DNA on it. I don't know.
So it fell, he picked it up, wiped it, and put it back?
I'm saying when he killed her, moved the car to where it was found. He took the fob. I don't know. Maybe he thought it wouldn't burn or before he burned her. And I don't know why he would wipe it, I guess, and not just burn it. It's a little strange.
He wiped the car.
I think he wiped the key fob, but then picked it back up again because he's a dimwit. And maybe it was just in his jacket or something. I mean, this guy's not a master criminal. Like,
He's
all
not.
this
He's
wasn't
not.
thought out. The fact that he may have dropped evidence a week later because it fell out of his pocket isn't that much of a stretch.
But given the early circumstances of this case and the relationship the police had with this family, I don't also think it's a stretch to think police might have just planted things to ensure this was a lockup case.
But it was just a job. Would you do this for, you work at a bank?
Dude, this was the entire county. But you don't think they were putting pressure on these people?
But so what? You lose your job, you go somewhere else and you get another cop job somewhere. Like, you would risk your whole freedom and your life and everything to frame this guy so the county doesn't pay $36 million. It doesn't make any sense.
But you think that. But you also think
crazy.
you're not going to talk to the police, which half the people in the story did. People just go with the flow and they just do what they're told to do.
But if
I don't think it's that unplausible to think that.
you would risk your whole life and career and everything so Steven Avery didn't get $36 million from the county, what the fuck do you care? It's not your money. Go get a job somewhere else.
But do you really
To
think
kill a
but do you
girl
think-
and frame them or to do all this crazy shit?
But was it presented to them that way? I don't know. I don't know if it was presented to them that way.
It's-
Maybe this was presented as this guy has fucked us. We know he did it. We need to make sure he goes away. Let's do everything we can to make sure he goes away.
I don't know why you would possibly risk committing multiple felonies like that for this. It seems crazy. It's just a job.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying I think that's where right now my head is at with this story.
The whole 85 issue adds a whole different layer to this
Absolutely
case.
does.
You know what I mean?
But they shouldn't have been anywhere near it to begin with. But yeah.
Because you really can make it's easy to make the jump that a lot of the same people are involved.
It
in this
absolutely
again.
is.
Yeah, that's right.
And
yeah.
this is payback.
That's why they shouldn't have been anywhere near it. They
Yeah.
should have never had the opportunity to do anything of the sort.
You're absolutely right.
we fucked up. You made us look stupid and we're going to be sued over this. We all look like pieces of shit and had to do these depositions.
Yeah.
We've talked about
Now we got you. We got you.
We've talked about the crime of opportunity before with a criminal attacking a victim. At this point, my mind is at this is a crime of opportunity for the police where they're like, oh, we got you dead rights. You fucking killed this poor innocent girl. Let's just make sure we don't blow this one like we blew the last one. Pile it on. And they had the help. They could use the cover of, well, this outside county's helping us. It's not us.
Maybe the key. I don't see anything other than that, though. I'll give you the key is possible. But pulling blood out of evidence and planting it in a car.
Well, I think the key in the car to me are the big ones. I don't know about the blood.
How did they get the car? How'd the cops get a hold of the car to plant it?
Well, we did have a guy registering a license plate. Maybe they found a car. Maybe they found a car.
Found it where?
I don't know. They probably would have covered that up.
If she pulled onto the lot, Steven killed her, which you're saying you agree that he killed her and burned her on the property. What's the chain of events that led the police to somehow also get a hold of this car and the key fob and to pull the car back into there? Granted, Steven should have crushed the car. He's in a fucking salvage yard. I think he's
very easily crushed the car.
Again, a dimwit, and he just parked the car for whatever reason.
In literally the first spot in the entrance where the police let her family go.
But
very convenient.
Again, what is the plausible chain of events where the cops got a hold of the car after he killed her to be able to do this?
Well, I think it was it last episode where we talked about, I don't remember, they had pinged her cell phone a little bit of ways away? Or am I making that up?
It pinged at the yard.
Maybe it had been before the thing.
I mean, yeah, she pinged there.
So
Like
you'd
right
have
in
to
that
think
area.
that he
And
killed
it was
her
there that they had the last cell phone.
Yeah, it stopped.
It was
hanging
there.
Okay.
But you'd have to think that he killed her and dumped her car somewhere else. The cops
And
came
the cops
upon
would
that
have found
car,
it and
brought
planted
it back, planted blood on it, and then a couple days later took the key fob and magically found it in the trailer.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, you're right. You're right with the car. I still have trouble with him just planting it right in the front spot, right there at the entrance, covered. Maybe he did because he was just, stupid. But yeah, I'll give you that one.
All right.
I know next week we'll talk about like theories about somebody planting all of this shit.
Okay. I'm
So,
open to
you
hear
know.
it. I
It's
don't
fucking aliens. They planted this shit. And they got us all fired up. Meanwhile, they're going to get us from the back end. Fuck all of our asses.
I mean, I'll give you the opportunity angle for police. Maybe they found the key fob out there in their investigation. Like, all right, let's drop this in the trailer as a good measure. But
Well, look, let's be honest.
Sure,
If they would have,
that's possible.
If this would have been a stand-up police force and conducted an open and fair investigation 18 years ago, we wouldn't have had these questions now. And then even this time, there's still so many questions. If they would have had, a fair investigation.
and that's fair. They brought this scrutiny upon themselves by the way they conducted themselves in the past.
Still in the
It's enough to throw the case out, in my opinion.
Again, I think we all agree. It's just a matter of to what extent. Yeah. This case should have been thrown out. Meanwhile,
The state police should have been brought in to investigate it immediately. Of course they should have.
he killed her. Teresa Halbach was killed by Steven Avery. But it probably should have been thrown out because of shitty police work.
I think that's
And that's where we would have been.
I think that's right.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. We're going to cover aliens or something. Ian's like, fuck you, I got more to say. We got some good shit.
What else you got, pal?
So last week, we said that the key gets still on the key. Well, we said last week that the key was found on the 7th search. And just like everything else in this story, that detail was muddy. So I wanted to correct myself because when you get into the trial shit, they say that they found it on the 3rd search. Some people reporting on this case later call it the 7th search because they're counting every entry the deputies made onto the Avery property, the garage, trailer, outbuildings, between the 5th and 8th of November as separate searches. By that broader count, the evidence teams executed 6 prior warrant-based sweeps across the yard before Link and Colborne re-entered the trailer on the evening of the 8th and found the key. Inside the bedroom itself, however, this was only the 3rd systematic look, which is the number both sides used at trial. The discrepancy comes down to whether or not you have an agenda, I think. If you want to word it a tricky way or not, how I read it last week on accident.
That's fair.
You can also question at this point the picture, right? Like, it could have been a very well just accidental key dropped somewhere. Maybe they moved it and took a photo and was like, oh, it's right here. You know,
The picture is so fucking suspicious looking.
It is. It absolutely is.
And with that, the defense rested. They ended with every critical item, blood, key, bullet, bones, had a second innocent explanation. And the two Manitowoc deputies who knew about Steven's $36 million lawsuit both had motive and access to create the illusion of guilt. Closing arguments started on March 14th. Kratz opened with the image that he wanted burned in at Steven Avery's on Halloween night, stoking that fire that, quote, nearly consumed Teresa's body just steps from his back door. From there, he went through 13 facts that he said closed the case, and he really leaned in on Bobby Dassey's testimony of Teresa seen walking towards Steven's trailer and never seen leaving, and Bobby's later story about Steven joking he had, quote, gotten rid of the body. As for this whole frame-up theory, Kratz called it smoke. Calmet ran the investigation. Manitowoc's Lank and Colburn were helpers, not plotters, and both denied planting evidence. The FBI found no EDTA in the RAV4 blood, so it didn't come from the 1996 file. To accept a conspiracy, Kratz said the jury would have to believe scores of officers and lab techs risked careers and prison to protect a killer and let the real one walk free. Kratz closed, warning jurors not to drift into the, quote, what ifs, trust the evidence, and use common sense.
I agree, D.A. Katz.
And Kratz.
Kratz.
He's a fucking slime ball, man.
All these people are.
Yeah, but he, like, we didn't really get into him too much, but he's a really fucking problematic dude. Maybe we'll do I'll research like a whole little thing on Ken Kratz, because he wrote a book on this and
Did
shit. Yeah, he came out of Netflix thinking very highly of himself.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Oh, I read one other thing I want to throw out there. Police found, I don't think they mentioned it in trial, police found leg irons and handcuffs at Steven's trailer and in Brendan Dassey's trailer.
I'm not trying to kink shame. I'm not going to
He said he wanted to try new stuff with his girl. It's not
What are leg irons?
like shackles, leg shackles
Oh.
It's like
to restrain people.
it just has a bar in between, right?
They're a chain.
Found them where? At
In
Steven
Steven's
and
trailer
Brendan's?
and in Brendan's. So, proof of nothing.
Well.
He said he wanted to try something new with his girl, but
Yeah.
just
who said that?
Steven.
Okay.
Okay. Leg irons. Like you get the handcuffs.
They
little fun
dropped
with
all
your
the
girl.
sexual assault charges,
leg
right?
Irons.
They dropped those charges, correct?
Hey, a burned body. I don't think they could prove that, right?
Here's the thing about, I believe we talked about this before.
I'm just saying, you can look in my closet. You can probably come up. You can surmise some charges based on my closet.
I think we talked about leg irons before, like somebody bought them and it was being portrayed as like an innocent thing. But at the same time, we're like, well, but where do you go to buy leg irons?
Yeah.
Like,
Go to an adult shop just down the street.
do they sell leg irons like that?
I'm
Like,
not sure.
like
I
metal
have no
fucking
idea.
like prison leg irons.
Look, members of the BDSM community, I'm not casting aspersions on your kinks.
Well, you're saying that they should be highly considered in murder cases.
No.
Is what you're kind of saying.
I'm saying it's just another piece of the puzzle. This guy isn't some fucking slick, bondage master. This guy's some fucking hillbilly in a trailer who's got leg irons and handcuffs. So you take that for what it's worth.
But all that was not part of the trial.
I don't know.
That's different,
It's just something
right?
I read about the case.
All right.
I don't
I'm
know
just
whether
saying that's different. If I was the judge, I would say you cannot say that. That is not a part of this.
it probably was not admissible, but I'm just telling you what I read. It's not a long list of ladies who want to engage in BDSM activities with this fucking guy and his leg
Well,
irons.
wait.
and
Who are you to say who this guy's dicking down?
I'm me. I say whatever the fuck I want.
Who are you, pal? He might have had a long list.
Is Brendan Dassey? Is he a dungeon master, bondage master too? That's what he was up to as well.
No, but I'm very interested to talk about that more next week because I'm very intrigued by where that's going to go.
Just something.
From what I understand, it's not going to go very far.
Steven's defense opened up, telling jurors that while Steven Avery came under instant suspicion, those closest to Teresa didn't and handled evidence with no oversight. Brian Hilgis, Teresa's ex-boyfriend, and his roommate Scott Boldern admitted to logging into her singular voicemail on November 3rd and November 4th, days before police obtained a subpoena. Hilgis guessed her 4-digit PIN, 7777, which was a code she often used, and cleared out saved messages because the mailbox was full. His roommate Scott, sitting beside him, said that they deleted wrong numbers and old photo shoot reminders, nothing that they thought was urgent. Number one, why are you deleting anything?
This is the one piece of evidence I think that leads to casting doubt on this and pointing it towards someone else. It's very unusual. You're logging into your girlfriend's phone and deleting shit while she's missing. The fuck is that?
Perhaps they paid Steven Avery to kill her.
Maybe they did. This is very strange.
I agree. This is very
Absolutely.
shitty, mysterious behavior.
Who
the fuck does this?
Yeah, very strange.
I think the guessing 4 numbers in a row isn't like this big I gotcha kind of thing that it was presented as being.
Yeah.
But
he probably knew it.
Yeah. There is no good explanation for this.
It could be evidence. Absolutely not.
Like who are you to say if it's a wrong number or not?
Yeah, right.
Who are you to say that it's an old shoot reminder or it's an unneeded shoot reminder?
Yeah. She was just murdered.
Right.
Everything is questionable right now.
And you're not a...
Well, it's before they found her body, right? Or before they found everything. So
but they knew she was missing.
Person, right?
Like, even still.
Yeah.
Like,
very strange.
What the fuck are you doing?
Very suspicious.
Why would that be that should not be in your step of things to do when your girlfriend's missing.
No. I think they should
ex-girlfriend, right?
Yeah, ex-girlfriend.
They should have focused on this more, I think.
Singular's log, later recovered by investigators, showed 2 deletions during the brief window when the mailbox sat at its 20-message limit. Special Agent Fassbender confirmed the timing in court. The state accepted the pair's explanation and didn't file any obstruction charges, but Steven's defense argued that it proved that Teresa's friends were already editing potential evidence while Steven was sitting there under the microscope.
Yeah, definitely.
Really fucking weird twist to this.
Yes. The strangest, in my opinion.
Her ex, Ryan, also made himself the unofficial coordinator of the volunteer search, and he steered Pam Sturm toward Avery Salvage on the morning of November 5th. At the Hilbert Fire Station, he laid out county maps, assigned grids, and handed Pam and her daughter Nicole a packet. He made a ton of these packets, and it contained a printout of Teresa's RAV4, a disposable camera to take pictures if you see anything, and a highlighted map of the yard. He'd already cleared entry with Calumet investigators, like we said way back on part 1 or 2, whenever, I think part 2.
Like a month and a half ago.
Yeah, whenever, if you go on the lot, you can, it's fine. Just don't touch anything and
call us
take
if
pictures.
you see anything.
Right.
But again, it's her last known location. This guy, while he was cleared of, the rape, whatever, he's also a convicted felon who incinerated a fucking cat by dousing it with gasoline. The guy's a creep. Everyone knows he's a creep.
He should be rewarded for that.
Jesus. So pointing them towards there is not anything out of the ordinary. I think it's exactly where you would be looking, right?
But isn't it weird that you would
It's her last known location.
Yes.
You would send just civilians to a crime scene?
family.
A crime scene, though?
It's her family. They
It's
don't
a
know
crime
it's
scene, though.
They don't know it's a crime scene.
It was her last known place.
They were looking for her.
It was
No
her
one had
last
found
known
it.
place. It's where her car was last seen. You would think they would seal that off.
I don't know why cops hadn't looked there before. Immediately
thought
when
they
she was
did.
reported missing, right?
Did they not
They
initially?
stopped by to talk to him, and he didn't answer the door, and they left him a business
Okay, so they
card.
did that.
Yeah.
And then they didn't close anything off. It was just up in the air.
They just wanted to talk to him.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange when she pinged there, and
I agree.
everyone knows this guy's a creep.
Yeah.
And it's her last known location. Why there wasn't a deeper... I guess they couldn't, even though it's a public place, they couldn't get a warrant to search because they had nothing. But
And I'm assuming when the
Oh,
cops
man.
went there, they didn't just see the car parked right under the brush.
At
It wasn't there yet. It wasn't there yet.
they didn't look.
He had it hidden in the back.
They didn't look.
At this point, I could see a higher up in law enforcement say, okay, this is her last location. We need to go out there. But there's a $36 million lawsuit hanging over everybody's heads. Don't push it. Like, don't be a fucking asshole to this guy. Just at least
It's
go
going to
out
look like
there.
harassment.
Right. So go out there and politely check.
Yeah.
So
that tracks,
so
yeah.
they did the a peaceful approach to it, left a business card and walked away.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Well, none of us know. We're just fucking guessing here.
Oh, we know.
Pam later recalled how specific Ryan was. We're talking 40 plus acres, stacked cars, brush that could hide a vehicle, and how he told her to work the back rows. At 10:25, Pam and Nicole signed the visitor log. Earl Avery waved them through, and 8 minutes later, Nicole saw Teresa's RAV4. Pam checked the rear window for the photo tag decal, read the VIN, and called 911 with Ryan's printout in hand. While she spoke to dispatch, Nicole called Ryan. He told them, quote, "Stay there, don't touch anything," then passed the location to the deputies at the roadblock. So what the defense is saying with this stuff is like he pointed her right to that. But I would think that he's giving everybody different spots to look in. He's not going to tell another group of people that are going to be there to look in the spot he's telling her to look in.
Yeah.
Is it just chance that this is the person that got that part of his plan?
Perhaps. Or someone that was closest to her that knew how to spot her car pretty easily. I don't know. Making it seem like devious, but, it's probably just friends trying to find their missing friend, right?
Yeah.
The deleting
Maybe.
messages.
The deleting
is
the
weird.
messages
It's weird,
does
but
not put them off to a good start.
maybe they're just dopes and we're trying to help and clear out messages if it was full in case someone called or something. I don't know what you're thinking in a crisis like that. It's weird. Yes.
The reason we're even talking about any of this other stuff with him is because of the deleting the messages. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
if you took that out and just had this, he would
There's
just look
no
like,
other evidence to point
yeah, he
to
would
him.
look at it as like
Sure.
ex-boyfriend just trying to find his girlfriend.
Yeah. That's right.
But because there's the deletion, it was like, okay, well maybe
Which is still fucking
he's in
weird.
on this shit.
Like that's weird. You shouldn't be doing that.
It's weird, but maybe
And
that's
that
not what he was
you
thinking.
deserve every bit of pressure you get after that because you're fucking being weird. You deserve to be questioned. You deserve to be thrown in the spotlight as possible suspect.
But maybe the
That
scenario
is questionable.
But
normal people don't do that.
the scenario might also be more like my girlfriend's missing. No one can get a hold of her. I know what her password is. Let me check the voicemail and see if there's anything there. Oh, it's full. This stuff's not really relevant. It's whatever. Let me clear some of this out in case someone calls or something. I mean, it's being framed as weird. Yes, maybe in his mind, maybe in the moment, it wasn't that weird. Again, people aren't used to
Maybe.
crisis situations, and they do things that they're trying to help. And
It's true.
looking back on it, 2020,
I think if
it
you're a
doesn't
normal-
it looks a little strange.
Normal thinking human being, you're not tapping into a girl's phone when she's missing.
I think if my girlfriend's missing and I can't get a hold of her and I know the password, I'm absolutely tapping into the voicemail.
And then I think
to
you're
see
police
what's there.
suspect number one. So
That's
I'm sorry,
fine,
but you just put yourself in the spotlight.
of course you would call and see if you can help at all. Of course you would.
Yeah, but you should also talk to your attorney and have them handle that, not do it yourself off the radar.
In the real world, though, of course you would call.
yeah, you say that, but then you just shed on people the last 3 episodes for talking to people in the real world for talking to the police.
No, you should
So,
never talk to the police.
I'm
but
just saying, if you're going to go ahead and go into business for yourself, other people are just doing what they think is best for their families. So let's be consistent.
I don't think those are inconsistent at all. If your girlfriend's missing and you have access to her voicemail, of course you're going to call in and tap in and see if there's any information.
I don't
on
think
there.
that's an of course at all. I think that's not.
Well, I
at
think
all.
most normal people would do that.
Okay.
I think it'd be
But
weird.
they were in the
not to.
They were in the cell phone.
Yeah, they were tapping into her cell phone.
Into her voicemail, right?
Yeah.
Her cell phone voicemail.
But like, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
If you're a concerned person, you wouldn't. I think you'd do anything you could to.
But
try to
wouldn't
find
you
her.
do that with the help of legal counsel if you're trying to help find her? Is what I'm saying.
And I would say no, probably not.
If you dialed it, I don't know that I would. I could see dialing it.
Yeah,
to
you call,
leave.
you're probably calling her cell phone over and over again, and you go, "Oh man, I know her password. Let me see if there's anything in here." I don't think that's that weird. I think deleting them.
I think that's very weird.
It's
I
pretty
think that's
questionable.
odd.
Yeah,
Calling
deleting.
into it, I don't find odd at all.
Fucking
not at
around
all.
with stuff like deleting is.
I don't think they had anything to do with this. To be clear,
Probably not. No.
I think they made some stupid choices.
I'm gonna reserve any of that stuff until next week, till I really dig into
Damn.
to some of this other stuff.
Well, goddamn.
Like I know where I'm standing. I think I know where I'm gonna land on this. I'm pretty sure, but
All right.
I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Steven's defense closed by looping every key discovery back to the same badge numbers. Lank logged the key. Colborne radioed that plate. Manitowoc deputies spent hours alone with the RAV4. He told jurors, quote, reasonable doubt is the hesitation you feel before making an important decision in your own life. And there's more than enough of it here. Fucking pretty heavy line.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's wrong.
There's a lot of questions with this one.
Yeah, I mean, like, I doubted a lot of stuff through writing this, reading it, and talking about it. Like, if that's what we're basing all of this off of. Deliberations started on March 15th, 2007, and stretched over roughly 20 hours. Midway through on March 16th, juror Richard Mahler was excused for a family emergency and replaced by an alternate who had heard the whole trial. Judge Willis told the reformed panel to start from scratch. Mahler later said that several jurors had leaned towards an acquittal on at least some of the charges when he left. Accounts that surfaced afterwards described tense, sometimes heated debates. One juror reportedly declared early on, quote, he's guilty as hell.
Well,
And then just like kind of like put their foot down kind of thing.
How was Mahler able to like discuss this?
This is like way after the fact
Oh,
stuff.
after.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. I was like, did he just like fucking make up an excuse and got the hell out of there?
Just went
and
to
was like,
business.
hey,
holding a press conference on a step.
I'm ready to speak.
Other reports that came out after hinted at informal vote trading, convict on homicide, acquit on another count to break a deadlock. The jury had sent written questions to the judge for clarifications and readbacks of testimony. It seemed like there was a lot of deliberation going into this. By Sunday evening, March 18th, they had reached a unanimous verdict. Steven Avery was found guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as a party to a crime and of being a felon in possession of a firearm. He was found not guilty of mutilating a corpse, which is weird because prosecutors argued Steven killed Teresa and burned her remains in the backyard pit. If jurors believed the murder logic seemed to point that he burnt her as well.
Someone else didn't come and burn her.
Certainly sounds like, would you say charge voting?
Oh, vote trading?
Vote
to
trading.
break a deadlock.
Yeah.
I mean, whether or not it was that or genuine doubt about who handled the remains, the outcome stood guilty of homicide in the gun charge, not guilty of mutilation. Steven showed little reaction as the clerk read the verdicts. Teresa's family held one another silently while each juror affirmed the decision. And that is where we will pick back up on part 6.
First time Ian's ever said that, by the way.
It's true.
I don't know how much editing I'm going to have to do on this one. We'll see. We've been talking a long time and going back, maybe jumping ahead. This is good, though. I'm enjoying this series so far because I really focused on trial stuff. I like how you popped in tonight with stuff that wasn't in the trial.
I also read clearly unsubstantiated, but that people he had been in prison with told investigators that he had shown them drawings of torture chambers that he was planning on building once he got out of prison.
He has drawn some really fucking weird pictures that I'm definitely talking about next week. And
Okay.
I'm going to send you guys pictures of them too. Because they're fucking weird, man.
Well, okay.
Since I don't know if a woman that he became friends with or like a love interest with.
Yeah.
Since then, he sent her some really fucking weird shit. So.
It does not surprise me at all. Not even slightly. I mean, I don't know. Kind of got ahead of ourselves throughout this. I don't know that I have any additional final thoughts today. But
I was the same way. I still don't have a final thought on anything. No. I want to hear next week. I want to hear what's going on.
So next week we'll get into Brennan's trial, how that all went down. We'll get into like Steven's appeals and stuff like that, like because there is a season 2 of Making a Murder, that kind of shit. And then we'll get into a lot of the theories, like if it wasn't Steven, who could have done this?
Yeah, that's the question.
Who could have?
Yeah.
Who? Who? Yeah, I think I'm gonna put a pin in final thoughts beyond what I've said so far until next week. Bring it all together.
Yeah, I agree. I'm very interested in how Brendan's thing plays out. I mean, I know what it ends with, but I don't know what more of the circumstances and information is. I feel like I might not agree with you guys on that one. Maybe. Okay. We'll see.
Makes it more fun.
We'll see.
Yeah, there's still more stuff, a lot more to debate.
Yeah.
Nice.
And not even fully debate. It's interesting because we all agree on the same, at least right now.
Yes. At this point right now, I think Steven Avery killed Teresa Halbach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the police illegally assisted the investigation. And that's about it. That's where I am at.
I think there's some questionable police activity. That's as far as I'm prepared to go.
Okay. All right. Well, so there's not much more to follow up on that one. We gave it all there. Dave, what do you got on Patreon?
Thank you to new patrons. Tongue Punch My Fart Box.
I feel like you've read that a few times.
Yeah.
This does sound kind of familiar.
Repeat patrons there?
Or is it the
welcome,
same person?
Hey, welcome back.
Yeah. Been gone a long time, maybe, and welcome back with your analingus.
Yep.
Naomi S., Brianna Leduc, Morgan Schull, Pam Keller, the Two-Tone Tickler Diddler Fiddler,
Okay.
Taylor Steinpress, Lee Pacheco, Cal L. Anderson, Bradley Nevels, Cayman Cider.
Oh, I get it. You got her pregnant.
Leslie, Ian, it's Marvin from the Crick. Answer my carrier pigeon, please. D, Bailey, I signed up for Patreon and all I got was seeing Mike's booty hole while he was cucking my wife who wants to see a grown man. Let me read that one more time because I stumbled on it. I signed up for Patreon and all I got was seeing Mike's booty hole while he was cucking my wife. Like, who wants to see a grown man?
Did they run out of character? That sounds like there is more
I can see
to
Dave's
that.
laptop, and it's literally the entire screen. It just goes all the way across.
You needed a comma there after wife, and I would have read it a
Punctuation
little
is your
better the
friend.
first time. Like, who wants to see a grown man? Garrett Johnson, Fate, God Slaves, Wicked Witch of the Whorehouse, Unlucky Concepts. That's mysterious. Carissa Jenkins, Sean Stevens, Lori Noel, Chris Rowley, Asthma, Ethan Fry. Couldn't come up with a funny name, so this will have to do. Oh, it did. Cumshot Rorschach. The new Rorschach test, but a bunch of cum shots.
Yeah. That's like Rorschach from Watchmen, right?
Yeah.
But like if it was all cum, the black dots.
But like if it was all cum.
Desiree Perks. And finally, you know damn well what BTK photos, Mike.
Never heard of that. Ma'am.
Thank
For the
you, new
town outside
patrons.
Nebraska? Ian, what do you got on your end?
On Patreon, we just did Paranormal Erotica 9.
Arguably our best paranormal erotica.
It was a lot of
Those
fun.
were 3 fucking banger episodes.
That was pretty fun.
It was a good time. And then we have a poll one coming up. It's going to be super fun.
Yeah?
I think it's going to be fun for me.
I haven't looked at that yet. Is it good?
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay,
It's like
good.
super nerdy shit. So,
Sounds awesome.
yeah.
Very good.
So, yeah, head over to Patreon. All kind of fun stuff.
Dave, anything else on your end?
No, sir.
We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Necronomipod, patreon.com/Necronomipod, amazon.com, search Necronomipod for all of our merch, and necronomipod.com.
All right, you guys ready for a cool down beer?
Cheers.